Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your February 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for all the information you need there. As far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always, and then we also have a couple of oracle cards we'll take a look at once we get through the main spread, and also a mudra card. So, getting started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Death card. So this is actually the major arcana card for Scorpio, which is your 12th house. So this can just be saying that maybe you're putting an end to a certain mindset that you might have had, maybe even some kind of a bad habit that might have been getting in your way too, because 12th house sometimes is, certain things that we might do that they're kind of like our, how do I want to word this? Basically just things that you're not consciously aware of that you might do that might get in your way in some way, shape, or form. So this could just be saying that maybe you're actually putting an end to one of those things. Given that Scorpio is the natural ruler of the 8th house too, I do have to point out you guys just had that full moon recently in your 8th house, the full moon eclipse in Cancer. So this could be pointing to that as well, as far as maybe a timeline for when you might have come to a realization around something that you wanted to change. As far as what this could be relating to, it can be around finances for some of you, because in Challenger Obstacle position, we do have the Eight of Pentacles, and that's actually a Virgo energy. So for you guys, Virgos are your 10th house of career, and then there's also the fact that, they're the natural ruler of the 6th house, which revolves around work. So this can just be saying that, maybe you might have come to a realization about a way that you might have been getting in your own way around your work life, and maybe you're putting an end to that. For others of you, this could actually represent you guys might actually be deciding to not put any more work into something that you've put a lot of work into. This could even be in the workplace too. For example, maybe you're pulled from a project that you've been working on for a long time, maybe for 8 months, for example, and now they might pull you from the project and, ask you to work on something else. So that could be another way that energy is playing out. In the foundation position, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So to have this in the foundation position, it does show progress. So for some of you, I really think that it might be a way that some of you might be finding a way where you might have been getting in your own way as far as work goes. So now you're actually, okay, I figured out what the issue is. Now I'm able to progress, right? So you move from the 8 to the 9. So that could be the way it's playing out for some of you. Or again, maybe it's one of those things where, like I said, maybe you got pulled from a project at work and you might not see the value in that initially, but it could be saying in the long run it's actually going to benefit you. Another way this could play out too is, let's say you're actually in business for yourself, because the Nine of Pentacles, or rather the Eight of Pentacles, always makes me think of entrepreneurship, because the person on the card is quite literally making their own money, right? So this could actually be saying that maybe you've experienced some growth in that area to the point where maybe now you have to delegate, maybe you have to get some people to help out because your business is expanding. Because this Nine of Pentacles energy to me, we see the financial success in the background, but it looks like she's also able to enjoy it too. So that could be what's at play for some of you. In the past position, we have the Eight of Swords. So this could just be saying that you might have just been unsure about which way to move forward, and this Death card here in that regard could actually show some clarity, right? Where, maybe it's one of those things where these swords each represent ideas of what you wanted to do, right? But then you're not sure which one of those paths to take to move forward. So, and that might have even just been what was going on that was causing the blockage for you, where you might have realized that maybe in some ways you might try to take on too much at once. And that might have been the issue that you guys pinpointed. And now you're like, all right, cool. Now that I got that blockage out of the way, next thing you know, you're at the Nine of Pentacles, right? So that could be how it's playing out for some of you. In the present position, we do have the Nine of Cups. So this is an energy that could represent that you're actually pleased now with the progress that you're making. So that's why I feel like for the vast majority of you, this is going to represent some kind of a blockage that you're clearing. Like I said, it could have just been some realization you had for where you may have been getting in your own way in some way, shape, or form. And, now that you have that clear, you're like, all right, cool. Now I can actually, move along. I'm happy with the progress I'm making, right? I know what steps to take next, so on and so forth. So that could be what's going on. And then and then your future position, we have the Five of Cups. So this is actually a pretty different contrast to the Nine, right? But then this again points to more Scorpio energy. So for some of you, this could be one of those things where you figure out, okay, cool, I figured out where I was getting in my own way in some way, shape, or form, right? But now the downside of that is you might look back on all of the missed opportunities you might have had, right? Like, oh man, okay, now that I figured out this one thing I was doing that was slowing down my progress, you might feel yourself looking back on other opportunities you might have missed and how much further along you feel like you could have been. Um, Especially because we're going to have Mercury retrograde as well in February, so that could have you looking over some things again. And given that it's going to be taking place in Pisces, which is your fourth house, it could even be, for example, a belief you had from early childhood, where you might have put limitations on yourself that you didn't necessarily have to. And then you could just have that frustration with yourself. But that's the case, you shouldn't feel that way. I mean, to me, whenever you clear any blockage up, that's definitely worth being in that Nine of Cups energy where you're like, all right, cool, I overcame this issue that I kept running into, right? And now it's just, you won't make the same mistake again, basically, So, yeah, you could look at past disappointment, but the message with that, the Two of Cups standing there is, okay, well, now you know that that was the issue. You have two cups standing, and then that's only going to grow from there once you're actually able to put this behind you. So that's how I see this energy playing out. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Five of Pentacles. So this is actually a Taurus energy. It represents the first 10 degrees of Taurus. And again, this could just be how you're feeling, because you're like, all right, like I said, it could just be one of those things where you're being hard on yourself. Like, all right, well, I got to this point. I come to this realization that I might have been getting in my own way in some way, shape, or form. I could have been so much further along, So it could just be one of those things where you might have a little bit of negative self-talk. And if that's the case, I will say Uranus is in those degrees right now, and you're actually going to have a new moon in Pisces towards the end of the month that's actually going to sextile Uranus in your sixth house. So you might get some more insight there on how you could actually move forward in a more positive way, especially for those of you who might work from home too or have a business that you run from home. You might get some insight on how to improve your situation there and, get some forward progress rather quickly. In the environment position, we have the High Priestess. So for me, this is usually one of the Pisces energies along with the Hangman, which we also see in the outcome. But so this could just be pointing to the timeline, saying that when things get into Pisces, you might intuitively pick up on, whatever this issue may have been. Like I said, this blockage, it might actually clear things up for you. And that could even be saying that it might take until that new moon in Pisces for you to come to that realization and move things forward. And then maybe that explains why you have the 5 and your influence, meaning that, this actual progress from the 8 to the 9 won't take place until a little later in the month. But this could also point to someone else you could be dealing with. For example, maybe there's an intuitive person that you might be interacting with. Maybe even go reach out to someone for a tarot reading, for example. There's a few different ways it could play out. Or maybe you're just getting more in touch with your spirituality too, to help you get through the difficulty that you might have been experiencing. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Page of Cups. So for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you're hoping to extend a love offer to someone. So maybe some of this is around romantic relationships too. I didn't really pick up on the vibe of that up until this point really, but it can also relate to that too, I suppose, where maybe even it could be a mixture of the two, right? Where maybe you realize that you might have thrown too much energy into your career to the detriment of your love life, right? Since we see the pentacles and then we see the cups, and we see some disappointment with the cups there. So maybe that's you coming to realization that, oh, okay, maybe I've been putting a little bit too much focus on my career, my pentacles, right? And not enough focus on my love life. So this could be saying now you're hoping to rectify that. Um, and if that's the case with the Page of Cups showing up here, it would show that, that might take you out of your comfort zone a little bit, where maybe you're not normally accustomed to focusing on your love lives, and maybe that's a bit of a shift for you. But yeah, that could be what's at play there. And then in the outcome, we have the Hanged Man and the Queen of Cups. So yeah, this could again be you with that Pisces energy, trying to look at things from a different perspective, and realizing, again, like I said, maybe you realize that you might have been a bit closed off when it comes to intimacy, since the 8th house can relate to intimacy, and for you guys, Cancer is your 8th house. And maybe you're just looking at that and realizing, okay, well, maybe you're deciding you are ready to open up, for example. But yeah, overall, I see this as a positive thing. And then again, for some of you where maybe this is around work and finances, like I said too, maybe this is a creative idea you come around to that would improve your situation. And it could just be saying that, you just might not be ready to unveil it just yet. That's how I could see those energies playing out together. And then, of course, ultimately, this can be pointing to you could be dealing with a water sign as well. So this could even just be saying that maybe you are having a little bit of upheaval in your work life, but maybe there's someone in your romantic life that would be there to support you, but maybe you're just so caught up on the finances thing that you're not really paying them much attention. And it could just be saying that maybe you'll come to that realization a little later in the month, like, okay, maybe I need to just spend some time with them and let things fall into place. And at the bottom of the deck, too, we do have the Nine of Wands, which is actually a Sagittarius energy. So this could just be one of those things where you might have gone through a rough patch, and maybe even the Nine of Cups is saying that this is something that you experience, but you might feel like it would be short-lived, because maybe you've had a bit of a streak of bad luck and, maybe a rough go for a while. So things start to turn around for you and you're like, all right, well, what's the catch? You know what I mean? So again, like I said, I think the main theme going on here is that some of you might have to just watch out for negative self-talk. And then I do have to say, beneath that, we have the Temperance card too, which is the major arcana card for your sign. So definitely an indicator there that could be what this is around. All right, moving on to the oracle cards. First, we have Go the Distance. There's the artwork, and the number is 47. So let's see what that has to say. All right, it says endurance, strength, the long haul. The oracle's message: to bring your dream to life, you must think long term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in the current of your experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there is no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. What is yours will never be withheld from you. Remember that. So definitely an interesting message there, and it does kind of touch on some of the things we were talking about earlier. So yeah, with that Death card and the 8 of Pentacles in the challenge position. So for example, let's say that this is some kind of a side business that you start for yourself, right? And maybe you enjoy it, but you're feeling a bit disappointed that maybe it's not paying off for you yet, monetarily speaking, right? So what this message could be saying there is to just not give up on it yet. It could just be saying that, if you keep working at it, eventually you get to that 9 of Pentacles where you're actually able to enjoy the financial reward from the work that you are doing. So hopefully that resonates for some of you. The relationship message says you either are in or are calling in a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself, and are remade in new growth, you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and the symphony of love will play on. Listen with your heart. Isn't it magnificent? So, like I said, I didn't get a huge relationship vibe there, but like I said, maybe it's as simple as that, where maybe you guys have gotten so wrapped up in finances that it might have been a bit to the detriment of your relationship. And, maybe it's one of those things where you might be a little bit freaked out about that a little bit, like realizing, like, oh, I might have messed up here. But if that's the case, it looks like it's saying that's fine. It's just, something you guys could ride out. It shouldn't spell doom and gloom for the connection or anything like that. All right. And then the prosperity message says your most precious dreams are not about instant gratification, but enduring prosperity. This is a time to think long term and engage in continued action. You will experience momentum building as you translate the ebb and flow into slow and steady movement forward. Your efforts, ideas, and hard work now can lead to greater riches than you can imagine. Stoke the fire so that an uninterrupted stream of energy is available to support you in all the phases of manifestation. Be assured that you are in the right place right now. So, definitely a pretty positive message there. And like I said, we pretty much touched on that topic for the most part already, so I won't go on and on about that, but hopefully that resonated for you guys in some way. All right. Next, we have Squirrel Spirit. It says, believe in yourself. There's the artwork, and the number is 57. All right, it says, you have accumulated wisdom and experience and are surrounded by all you need. An abundance of resources is available to you through the generosity of spirit and all your hard work. Squirrel spirit shows up when you need reminding that the acorns you have gathered and stowed away have enormous potential to grow. So relax into knowing there is always enough, and you have what it takes to co-create the reality you want to experience. Through diligent preparation, you have gained wisdom and strength. How much potential you have. Believe in yourself, for Spirit believes in you and wants you to know you have enough and are enough. Doesn't that truth make you feel safe and secure? It should, for you have everything you need right now. So, similar message there too. Like I said, for some of you, this might be something where you might be going through a bit of a rough patch, like I said, and maybe maybe you've been considering giving up, and that could be what the death card is about. But this could just be saying, maybe you need to stick it out a little bit longer, and things will eventually turn around. So hopefully that resonated for you guys. All right, and the last thing we have is a mudra card, and the mudra that you guys got this month is the Ushas mudra. There it is there, and the keyword for it is productivity. Okay, so there's the info on it if you wanted to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it has to say, but it says awakens body and mind in the morning hours, increases creativity and productivity, benefits the pelvis and reproductive organs, increases mental clarity and alertness, harmonizes the endocrine system. So if that sounds like something you think we would find useful, I will put the name of the mudra in the description of the video if you wanted to look into that a little bit more. We'll wrap up there, guys. I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.